Hello, everyone. My name is Stuart Bailey, and welcome to another part of the lovely long-running series, which is called Getting to Know. It's a way to understand songwriters from Northern Ireland and to see their modus operandi, to catch the spark of their creativity. It's brought to you by the Oh Yeah Music Centre, as always. We're doing this in association with the magazine, the publication, Dig With It, where you can check out lots of other conversations with lots of other artists and people from the creative community. It is brought to you in association with PRS for Music, who are one of the great support groups for music. We'll talk a little bit more about that safety net and that help system for musicians in a moment. So before we get any further, then let's welcome into this then Rebekah Fitch. Rebekah Fitch has been part of our landscape now for at least 3 years, probably a little bit longer than that. And kind of every time she returns, she's got a grand scheme or a further kind of twist in terms of her creativity and her audacious kind of capacity. Somewhere in the background, we have a gentleman called Dee, who will be kind of throwing the switches and bringing music and videos on and off. And hopefully at this moment, then Dee will pull a switch, and there we go.
Magic.
Fill us in. Whereabouts are you? What's going on in your environs at the minute?
Yeah, so I'm currently in London. I actually, I've been in London for the past year and a half, living here kind of on and off. Obviously back to Belfast loads for gigs and just keeping tabs on the music scene there because I can't leave it behind. It's so awesome. But yeah, I just moved flat in London as well. So I'm right next to Hyde Park. So it's the total dream right now. Yeah, I'm loving life here. Great.
And is the park good for your daily exercise or is
my one daily exercise? Yes, do it's great. Go for a run around Hyde Park. Beautiful.
Okay, very good. Not even a walk; it's a run. Excuse me. Did you go back to London, or did you go to London for the purposes of your musical career, or was it a combination of things, or what?
A whole mix of things, yeah. I mean, I love big cities, and I think I always wanted to live here at some point in my life. And so I think it's a pretty good time, early mid-20s is a pretty good time to try new things. And I wanted to challenge myself, meet new people, and definitely get more experience with playing music and creating. So yeah, I think I wanted some change. I wanted to challenge myself, so I ended up here.
Fair days. So every artist that's been on this, and there have been many, it's always an interesting experience, and we're all managing to do this with technology. Everyone has a different format. There's no given shape to getting to know, as long as we understand the person as a songwriter a bit more. Yeah. Now you, Rebekah, are going to do, you're going to top and tail this session with a live track. Mm-hmm. And you've put a lot of thought into your videos over the time. So we're going to watch 3 videos, 2 live tracks, and Bob's your uncle. So for the next 45 minutes, that's our run. Need to feel. I think we'll talk about it afterwards. So
sure.
Do you have to press reverb buttons and stuff, or get?
Oh, it's all down to a fine art now. A year of Zoom gigs, and yes, got to be ready.
Right. Well, at your leisure, then, Rebekah, when you're good, we'll have a listen to Need to Feel.
Can you hear me? Am I bleeding? No, I can't work out what's wrong. Oh, brother, are you near me? There's no feeling. All my insides feel so numb. Oh, ooh, I'm feeling caught up in a landslide. 52 weeks of alone time, wanting the fear of a fast ride inside. Ooh, I constantly feel like I'm losing. I don't know if I can do this. I just can't face being human. to feel, I need to feel something there. I need to feel, I need to feel again. Father, do you see me? I'm not breathing, and I pray before it's too late you'll discover that I'm grieving for no reason. Yeah, yeah, just an empty vessel longing for some life, dancing around like it's all fine. You see me laugh in the sunshine, desperate plea for a lifeline inside. Ooh, I constantly feel like I'm losing. I don't know if I can do this, I just can't face being human. I need to feel, I need to feel something there. Yeah, I need to feel, yeah, I need to feel again. We've got all we need to be free from our sin. All of the glitter and jam jars of gin. You're holding my hand as we're dancing to slim. It's a cool night, hold tight. You and me, we're always running through life. Iridescent, fluorescent and sparkling with life. Laughing and crying and painting our smiles. It's a cool life, hold tight. I need to feel, yeah, I need to feel something there. I need to feel, yeah, I need to feel again.
Rebekah Fitch, that is a track called I Need to Feel. That's a song that we kind of, I guess, became acquainted with about 2 or 3 years ago, Rebekah. That song, and do songs change as they go along? Do you relate to them in different ways and or find different corners of the meaning in them?
I think so. And I feel like in the past year, that's something that's actually really stood out to me, that a lot of songs that I wrote maybe a year or two ago suddenly have new significance and there's new meaning behind them. You know, I feel like that's the real cool thing about songwriting, is it's so prophetic sometimes. When you write something in a certain circumstance and then a year later it comes back with a whole new relevance and a whole new significance for a different time. So for sure, I found that really often in the past year, that loads of songs that I wrote maybe 2 or 3 years ago are, there's certain lines that have a new meaning, which is awesome because it just means that they're completely reinvented without you having to do anything, you know?
You have a metaphysical bent to your words. You seem to dwell quite a lot on the meaning of our 70 years and 10, our brief spark in this firmament. Were you always very pensive as a young artiste, or is that something that's coming along as you mature into music?
I think it's always in development for sure as you grow as an artist. Like I don't think any artist ever wants to be stagnant. So I hope it's growing and I hope it's developing, but it's definitely always been there, and it's a big part of why I do what I do. You know, I'm super passionate about the power of music and how you can have a message and it can reach millions of people through a 3-minute song. And so I think as an artist, there's a certain responsibility to harness that and use it in the best way possible. So you're actually saying something. You're not just making music, you know, to make money or for fame or anything. Like, that should never be your drive, because it's so much more powerful than that, and you have so much more influence through the medium of music. So I'm very passionate about putting as much meaning into anything I do as possible, and having multiple layers of meaning in my songs as well. So, you know, it sounds great, you know, I hope from the first listen, but the more you dig, the more layers you go through, there's more to uncover. There's more like Easter eggs and golden nuggets, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, well, Easter eggs are a good thing. And then the challenge, or I guess that's the premise, that you're going to reach people and you're going to create conversations, or you're going to provoke thoughts with your listeners. In the early days, you would have had no real inclination that anybody was listening, or or taking notes. You would hope as you continue on that you're getting a little bit of feedback, that people are going, yes, that said something to me, or that provoked a bit of self-questioning, or it helped me find an answer to something. Tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, actually, even with the past few singles I've put out, that is what struck me more. And as I've progressed through my artist journey, I can definitely tell that my goals as an artist have changed. I think at the start, it's very much you're looking at quantitative goals of trying to reach a certain number of streams or a certain number of plays, or, trying to get on a certain festival or a radio show or whatever. And actually, after a while, you realize that you should set your goals differently, and it should be more about the connection that you create through your music. And I think the past few songs I've put out have really resonated with people, which I'm so thankful for. And actually the feedback that I've got from those people that it's meant something to has been so much more rewarding and powerful for me than any kind of good news that I got played on something or got a slot at a festival, And I think hearing how my music's resonated with people has definitely made me redefine why I do it and what my goals are. And so in my songwriting now, it's totally different. That's what I want to do. Like, I want what I write to resonate with people more than, in the early days, I guess. I think that's more important for me now. So
well,
this year
that's
is
really
definitely
interesting, because we're at a period where the artist is kind of in charge of their own destiny in a lot of ways, how they present themselves, how they market themselves. But like you say, a lot of it, there can be an obsession with the number of clicks and the number of stats, and as someone, I'm not an artist. I'm a participant or a listener, and sometimes that can get tiresome. If you get the feeling somebody's really just trying all the time, and you just forever bashing the keyboard rather than examining themselves as an artist. So yeah, I think that's what you've just answered that question for me, haven't you?
Yeah, I think the more organic and authentic you are, hopefully the more people will come to you instead of you trying to desperately claw something to come to you. It feels more natural that way. And then people will be more invested in what you do because it feels honest.
Yeah. And then presumably you get the occasional randomer that thinks that you're singing directly to them, and that the jumper they're knitting is being guided by your music, and you'll get sorts of strange dialogues as well. So
I love all that.
You have to navigate a bit of that as well, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, the more personal people relate to it, I think the cooler it is. To be honest, the more powerful it is. So I'll take any kind of relatable story. Like, I love when people send me stories of what things mean to them, so I'll take it all.
Very good. And you kind of don't want to deny them that, and
no.
I know quite a lot of artists that don't want to do videos that are too prescriptive, because it almost, it's sort of saying this is what the song's about, rather than leave it a little bit more suggestive or open to interpretation. So it's a fascinating thing, and I think over the last 12 months we've been, I guess, not so much left alone, but we're I would try and listen to different music every day when I go for a walk, or every evening when I go for a walk, and you're having a sort of a conversation with that music as you plod along. So that I think that's one of the positives of the moment. People have time to be reflective with music again.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think I've noticed that a lot of the songs I've written in the past year are a lot slower than before. It's like I forget how to write an upbeat song because everything is just so, reflective, and just you're questioning things, and you want to explore the depths of things even more because you have time to think. And I was talking earlier today about how it's probably the first time in the 21st century that anyone's been bored, because we have so many distractions all the time, and actually boredom was what creates good ideas, because that's when you have to problem solve, and that's when your mind is allowed to fester and just sit there without being pinged with a billion notifications and the demands of carrying down a social life as well as a job and life admin and everything. Like, we've actually had time to be still, and that's when your mind wanders and finds new paths and new things to create, which is awesome.
Well, that's a positive way of looking at it.
Got to be positive, right?
No, I would share that positivity. I'm kind of, we've all got a lifelong journey with music, and at the minute we've got a different relationship with it, which is great. And then everyone's going to put out the bangers over the summer when they get a little bit excited again. So let's hope
need it though.
Yeah. We're going to watch the first of 3 videos. Now, this track is called Dust. And this is a song about bereavement, about coming to terms with someone who's gone. It's a pensive song. It's a very elegiac video. There's a gentleman in a car, and he's dealing with issues. On a serious note, that's what's going on. On a less serious note, it's a B&Q car park. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's where we shot it. I parked up in B&Q, got all the rigs on the vintage Merc, and away we went in convoy to film him driving.
So are we talking about the B&Q in Belfast Harbour, around that way?
Yeah, Hollywood Exchange. Yeah, for those who know it.
And did you have to have words with people and say, "Can we use your car park," or did you just steal it?
We actually had a police escort during the film, which I did not organise. I can't take credit for that, but it was all very above board for the first time. It was legit. Yeah.
So you planned it. You had a posse of people around you. You put a lot of work into your videos. You had there's cameo roles in the car. At one stage, there's Lucinda Graham, who's like a stylist. Is that right?
Yeah, she was the stylist for the video, which was awesome.
So she's got the short hair. You can watch out for her. And what was it? A full day or a couple of days, or what way did that work out?
It was 2 days. Yeah. So all of the driving shots, the car shots, were on a Wednesday night in B&Q, and then on the Thursday we had an Airbnb house rented out on Temple Patrick Avenue to be the house. So there was a full day in the house with all of those different scenes.
Okay, and a beautiful silver Mercedes, which is the envy of a lot of people, I'm sure. So, and it's produced by KAM. Tell us a little bit about KAM.
So, Katie McQuillan is another Northern Irish film director. She's based in London, but she's just moved back to Northern Ireland. Super talented. It was just such a privilege to be working on this video with her, and I think we went to school together, so it's one of those ones when you move to London and there's people from home and you think we need to connect here because we're both from the same place. She loved the song, which I was really excited about, and then she dreamt up a few different stories that might go along with it, and this was the one that spoke to me the most, and I felt really brought another dimension to the song. And so we tweaked it and rewrote it and crafted it into the video that it ended up being. But it was an awesome project. I loved it.
Very good. There's got to be a little bit of maneuvering now. I think we might see the face of D as he gets the video ready. And if you do, sort of everyone say hello to D. He's a good man. And there we go. And then the video's ready to go.
Will someone wake me when I can start to breathe again? My days, they feel so strange. I can't get used to you not there. But I won't give up and I won't break down. I know I'm stronger than the bond we've torn apart. No, I won't give up, but I might break down, 'cause I am hurting and it's too much for one heart. Hope turns to dust, just pieces of a broken life, before I rewrite my heart. I just wanna know how you are. I just wanna know how you are. Can I break free from this? Two hearts so deeply intertwined. Each time I think I'm fine, another little detail comes to mind. No, I can't see a time when all won't be compared to you. Do you believe in one true love? 'Cause I would say that I used to. No, you don't see the way I do. I'm sorry if you thought I ever lied to you. I know you wish I hadn't changed. Why did it take so long to see you're not the same? Hope turns to dust, just pieces of a broken life, before I rewrite my heart. I just wanna know how you are. I just wanna know how you are. And when I close my eyes, I still remember how it feels to trace my fingers on your face. I still know every single detail, like I've never left that place. And every time I think I'm fine, I picture you as someone new, and I feel sick 'cause you're not mine. Was this all a waste of time? Hope turns to dust, just pieces of a broken life. I can't just rewrite my heart, decide to just fall out of love. 7 months we've been apart, and I just wanna know how you are. I just wanna know how you
That was a track called Dust. That was Rebekah Fitch. We've got several more videos and a live track to go. We're getting some nice feedback on the run-ins down the side of the video. Jennifer Kirby watching from New Zealand. That's nice. Do you know Jennifer?
Cool.
No?
I don't think so. Thanks for tuning in, Jennifer. Very kind of you.
Everyone's a fan, and Max a fan. Where else? We have Charlotte Dryden, boss woman of the OEM Music Centre. Rebekah wins the prize for best live stream sound quality to date on Getting to Know. Which at one stage I'll not name names, but we did have one artist whose phone signal packed in halfway through a performance and had to move to the kitchen to get a better sound. So, I'm touching wood here. Hopefully nothing goes wrong.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Some people, let's talk technology for a minute. Some people, artists would say, I'll not go on stage without an SM58, or they'll talk Sennheisers and Shure, and that's a rather magnificent looking microphone you've got ahead of you there. Is that something that you've sought out after years of painful experience?
This is an Aston Spirit, which I has been my trusty mic for the past 2 or 3 years. I think it was just one that was it's very popular, very heavily recommended to me because it doesn't break the bank, but it's does the job. So yeah, it comes everywhere with me now for the
Fantastic.
live streams. Yeah.
So you did music at a music college in the north of England, is that right?
Yeah, I went to Durham University to do music. Yeah, back in the day. I loved it. I loved it
And
there.
so that's where you went from school, was it?
Hmm.
So that was your higher level education, and what did that what were the main takeaways from that immersion? Then did they steer you in certain ways or let you grow to your own plan or what?
I think it's an interesting one because whenever people hear that I studied music, they're like, "Oh, that makes sense." And I'm like, "Actually, the whole music degree was very academic, not focused on the industry whatsoever. You're being taught by these doctors who are very much in the world of academia and essay writing and literature. And so in terms of forging a career in the music industry, I feel like I was very much left to myself to learn that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I learned a lot just by throwing myself in. But what it was really great for was exposing me to such a wide variety of music that I never would have found by myself. And I kind of focused on the composition route. So instead of doing a dissertation or a performance piece, I went down composition and primarily electronic composition. So all of these bands like KLF and, loads of German techno stuff and all of this weird experimental electronica that I never would have found otherwise because I'm yet to find many people who are passionate about it, but it exposed me to awesome stuff that actually is has played a big part in influencing my sound. Maybe you can't always hear it, but I love experimenting with the production side of things, and I would never have discovered my love for that had I not been spending endless days in a basement studio just mucking around with old vintage synths and stuff. So that was
Yeah.
really cool just to have the time to do that and the time to learn about artists that are pushing the boundaries of just being avant-garde in everything they do and inspiring me.
And today is International Women's Day, and the getting to know session this evening, then in conjunction with Oh Yeah and Dig With It, is International Women's Day special. Has the event provoked any special thoughts with yourself today?
I think what's taken me aback is the amount of people sharing it today and just sharing love for various women creatives. It feels like there's a real strong community of everyone wanting to lift and empower everyone together. So I think it's been a really good day of exposing people who deserve to be heard and seen and just giving them a platform. So I feel very privileged that you picked me to do this live stream because there are so many amazing female musicians out there, like female and non-binary musicians. I feel like Northern Ireland is head and shoulders above the rest. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Definitely
It
something to
is,
shout about.
yeah, it is something. It is a great development, and there have been people obviously making that happen as well, and for years to people like Charlotte at Oh Yeah, and lots of supportive organisations as well. PRS have been mentioned for, the Arts Council, and there's been various initiatives and to carry people over this difficult time because someone like yourself would have taken succor from live gigs and been able to sell music there and to be able to sell merch and all of that. So there have been a few kind hands extended to yourself and other people. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I'm so grateful for everything the Arts Council's done this year and help musicians. Like I couldn't have created the video we just watched was funded by the Arts Council, so I couldn't have done that without them. The other video that we're going to play later on also funded by the Arts Council. So like they've been a total saving grace in allowing, Northern Ireland creatives to keep bossing it and making amazing things. So I couldn't have done it without them, yeah.
Okay. Well, the next video was called "The Love So Crazy," It's got a very striking dancer at the center of it all. Tell us a little bit about that individual.
Yeah, so that's my really good friend Morag Stewart. She's done a lot of Irish dancing. She's kind of grown up through the ranks of that and went and did performances with river dance and everything. So she loves improvising when she dances as well. So all the dancing in the video is completely improvised because she feels that's what's natural and almost spiritual as well. So it was really cool to have that unscripted in it as well and just to go with the flow. And actually the parts of the video where we have the silhouettes is shot in Carrickfergus, and it was just perfect timing. Like we shot it in January, so bless her, she had to go in the sea in bare feet in January, but she was hardcore and did it. But I was trying to find the right location to shoot those shots in January because we wanted the sunset to come over the water, but the sunset was completely the other side of Ireland. Like it went completely over land. So we managed to find a little inlet in Carrickfergus where it would set over the loch, which was beautiful. And the hour that we were shooting there was the one clear hour where we had clear skies, and as soon as we finished the clouds came, and so it just felt very serendipitous, you know. It was really cool.
Northern Ireland and video shoots, that's a perilous, nerve-wracking occupation.
It's a risky game, I know. So it makes it even more special when it pays off.
Okay, well, when you're ready then, Dee, we'll have a watch of A Love So Crazy.
Down by the still waters, broken lives can heal. I taste the blood so beautiful that it brings me to my knees. It never runs out, it never runs dry. I know it's gonna break the chains that hold me down to die. It never runs out, it never runs dry. I know it's gonna break the chains and raise me to the sky. Cause this is love so crazy, I can't understand. No, I can't comprehend it. It just keeps on wishing over me. Love that will last eternally, free as the air I breathe. This is a gift we can't justify. We are children, innocent and clean. It never runs out, it never runs dry. I know it's gonna break the chains that hold me down to die. It never runs out, it never runs dry. And I know it's gonna break the chains and raise me to the sky. Cause this is love so crazy, I can't understand. No, I can't comprehend it. It just keeps on rushing over me. perfectly surrounded, it is holding me. This is what I live for, this is heavenly. Perfectly surrounded, it is holding me. This is what I live for, this is heavenly. 'Cause this is love so crazy, I can't understand. No, I can't comprehend it. It just keeps on washing over me.
Carrickfergus in January. I thought that the first time I saw that, I thought she's got to Goa or somewhere like that. I was feeling a wee bit of that vibe, but there was the weather and the some astute camera work give us a rather exotic picture. But you can see the castle in the background.
Yeah. You can see it once you know.
Yeah. Connor Marcus just gave me a little bit of applause online, which is great. Hello, Connor. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you.
There must have been a point then, but obviously before you went to Durham, where you had a kind of a gnawing sensation in your insides that you wanted to be an artist, that you wanted to, did you want to be a performer first or a songwriter first, or what was that process all about?
I think it was a very gradual process of realization of the actual possibility of being an artist, because I grew up not knowing any professional musicians or knowing anyone who was even in the local scene. And so I ended up going to Durham to do music because I was like, there's nothing else that I really love enough to devote so much time to it. So I went to do music because I was like, that's the only thing that makes sense to me to study. And it was only when I was, towards the end of my degree that I started to properly write songs and meet people who were just making it happen. And they weren't necessarily the biggest acts in the world, but they were able to have a career in it. And that was groundbreaking to me. I didn't know that that was something you could do. And so I guess when I was about 2021, I started, integrating myself in the scene in Newcastle and in Belfast, and meeting anyone who would give me time of day for coffee to get some advice, as I took some time out after uni to experiment, take my gap year and see what happened. But it's one big long journey of realization that it is possible to do it. I don't think there was one defining moment where I decided I'm going to be an artist. I think it was lots of little steps that showed me that it's an option, to forge a career in that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but was there like two generations above you? Was there some family music connection? I could be wrong. I thought there was. I thought there was like
Well, I know my grandpa was big into choirs, and he played piano, and
right.
He was very musical. I think my grandparents definitely have an ear for music, and there's definite talent there, but never in terms of like professional musicianship as such.
Okay,
that's where I got it from.
I thought I picked up a steer from somewhere, but not to worry, not to worry. Right, we're going to we're kind of getting up to date to a degree, and loose ends. So every time you do a video, it seems to be you're getting closer to the Cecil B. DeMille, Busby Berkeley. Let's get all the dancers and let's get everything happening and conceptualize it all. And you seem to enjoy that side of things and putting those thoughts through. And Loose Ends is certainly not a Slack video or not a Slack idea. Tell us a little bit about that process then.
Yeah, so I wrote Loose Ends about 1.5 years ago, basically straight after moving to London. And I'd had the chorus lyrics for a while because I'd heard the reference to this poem that about a tapestry and how it's a metaphor for life, especially in times of uncertainty, and how on one side you have the finished picture and you can see how all the threads are perfectly positioned and woven together to make something beautiful and complete. But if you turn it over, the other side is just utter chaos, and there's all of these loose ends and loose threads hanging down, and you can't see which thread is going where, or where it leads, or where it's attached to. And I just felt that was so powerful for even my life in general as a musician. You know, it's so uncertain all of the time, and you can't see how things are fitting together, and you feel like you're just floundering all the time. So I think that was really powerful for me, and that metaphor just stuck with me for such a long time. I had the chorus lyrics for maybe 2 years before I wrote the song, and it kind of just fell out of me one day when I think it was maybe a couple of weeks after I moved to London. So I stuck it up on Facebook, not really thinking much of it, but just, you know, you need to keep the content coming, you know. So I put it up, and people just loved it. And so I was like, oh, maybe this is actually better than I thought it was. So after another year,
Did you
I
take
went
it
into
down then because everybody liked it, or did it stay up then?
No, it stayed up. I wanted people to still see it and know it. And I think that was one thing why I really pushed for it coming out, you know, in February, rather than waiting until everything opens back up again and there's less releases and the industry isn't as saturated with constant single releases right now. But I just felt it was so poignant for right now, even though I wrote it a year and a half ago. And, you know, I was chatting earlier about how songwriting's so prophetic. This is one of the ones that has really struck me it was written before, but it's for now, you know. And I think the amount of messages I've got for the song has just taken me aback for the amount of people that have said this is what I needed right now. So I'm so grateful for that, and it just reminds me that's what I do, you know, that's why I do it. So it's been awesome.
Great. Well, again, Dee, when you're ready then, if you can put that video up, that'd be fantastic.
How do you make sense of it all? The loose ends and the questions that have you up against the wall. If I could understand just one more thing, I'd ask the unknown reason for this suffering. Darling, your life is like a tapestry you gaze upon from underneath, but all you see are threads and strings hanging loose, so you can see the beauty seen from up above, the finished picture made from love. The other side of Father sees, complete in its entirety. Trying to find a reason in the fear, the chaos and the overwhelming need for something clear. If you had understood the way through, you'd have no need for faith, you would rely on only you. You'd have no need for faith, you would rely on only you. Darling, your life is like a tapestry you gaze upon from underneath, but all you see are threads and strings hanging loose, so you can see the beauty seen from up above, the finished picture made from love. The other side of Father sees, complete in its entirety. It may not look like anything, yeah. It may not feel like it's okay, yeah. So be patient, my dear. Have faith in the year, for all is work together for good. Darling, your life is like a tapestry you gaze upon from underneath, but all you see are threads and strings hanging loose, so you can see the beauty seen from up above, the finished picture made from love. The other side, your father sees, complete in its entirety.
Loose ends. That was Rebekah Fitch. That is 4 out of 5 musical pieces. The last video that we're going to see, and we're going to end with a live performance. The dance ensemble, can we give them a bit of credit? Did you kind of tell them what to do, or did they kind of work that out themselves, or what?
So basically, the video came about because I have a friend, Alice McCabe, who is an amazing artist and photographer. She's done EP album artwork for me before and everything. And so she got really into weaving art in the past year. And so whenever I was writing this song, I was like, that would be so cool. I want that visual element to have a tapestry involvement. So I brought her on board, which she was really excited about. And she just took the idea and totally ran with it and came up with the whole concept of the music video. And so we worked together to create this idea of the dancers as the threads themselves. They kind of personify and embody the threads that kind of weave in and out of life and come together. So her friend from university in Glasgow, Pascal Johnson, choreographed it, and he's actually now based in Amsterdam with the Dutch National Ballet. So thanks to him, we got some of the Dutch National Ballet dancers involved in the video. So that was who you see on screen. There's 6 of them, and they were a total joy to work with. It was awesome having them on board, and all of their costumes were all dyed by, I think Pascal dyed them to make sure that they all fitted in with the color scheme perfectly. So there were loads of kind of parts to it that came together. So a lot of thought went into it, but it was awesome having them on board. It was the first video that I've shot where I wasn't actually on site, because obviously I can't get to Amsterdam right now. So it was an exercise in trust, just letting that kind of happen.
An exercise in trust and an exercise in goodwill and persuasion. I think you're very good at getting people to do stuff, to do good stuff, presumably for modest budgets. So
yeah, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, you see, when you're super famous, all the favors will come back now, and then you'll have to sing at their dance events and all the rest of it. So, but there you go. It'll be worth the return. We haven't quite talked about songwriters. Who would you listen to that would challenge you, or that would reveal kind of new ideas to you, or that you would look at through the clouds and go, if only I could get that elevated with my own writing?
Mm-hmm.
Who would
Do you think lyrically or musically or both?
Whatever you want to talk about, really.
I think they're both so important to me. It's interesting because whenever I'm a listener of music, I focus so much on the musical side of it. But whenever I'm writing, I almost feel like the lyrical side of it takes more time. And that's what I focus on more. I'm always so intrigued by anything Björk does. I think she just has so many facets to what she does. And any kind of artist that is able to create an entire universe around their artistry is what I aspire to. It's not just the songs, it's the whole world around it that they invite their listeners into. And if there's one thing I can do as an artist, it's to create that world. So when people are listening to what I've written, there is an escapism there, but it's also just like a whole new dimension that you've crafted and invited listeners into. So I definitely get inspiration from artists that can do that really well, like Florence and the Machine or Grimes or Lana Del Rey to an extent as well. I feel like there's so many artists that have crafted an entire world around their music. Lyrically, I don't know, there's been so many. I've got really into Son Lux and Moses Sumney over the past year, and I think they are just genre-defying bands / artists that I am totally addicted to, in terms of you can't put them in a genre, you can't really define what their sound is, but also the lyrics, when you strip all the production back, it's really hard hitting as well. So I feel like I want to have that balance between it's sonically very experimental and pushing boundaries, but when you actually strip it back to the song itself, that there's real truth there and there's real hard hitting challenges there as well.
Okay, that all makes good sense. We're going to listen to a final track then, and it is Rebekah Fitch playing live again, and partly a shame in that there is a great video that goes with this track, Game Over, and a game, and you can follow an individual called Zed going through this life journey, this platform game. Collecting stars and encountering obstacles. Your brother was involved in kind of coding that, and I don't know if he actually ever got a credit. Can we name the talented brother at this point?
Oh yes, he's called Connor Fitch, and he's only 17. He's 18 in 3 weeks. So he basically helped me create this video game. So I did the visuals and he did all the coding, because I have no clue when it comes to coding. I could not have done that myself. So I had this idea because I wanted to do something interactive, because we don't have gigs right now, and I wanted to have something that wasn't just passive where people would watch and consume, but they could actually be involved in something. And with Game Over, I felt like not only the name of the song, but the whole concept of the song lent itself to a video game. You know, the song is about always feeling like you're trying to catch up and falling behind in life as you try and grapple with adult life in your early 20s. And if you have that endless runner in a game, you know, you're trying to always jump over obstacles and balance things and keep up and not die. And I was like, I feel like that all the time. So I brought this idea to him and he's like, yeah, I can probably do that. And I was like, what? So he's just so talented. He's going to uni to do computer science, so it'll be put to good use.
Is this the springboard for another Fitch sibling then to kind of create an empire and a universe? So I think the answer is probably yes.
We always joke that he's going to be the rich one of the three of us, me and my sister.
Yeah, you need somebody to get into tech these days. Yeah.
I know. He'll be the one with a real job.
It's been very pleasant. We'll have a quick chat after this live performance, but we're getting to the close to the end now, and whenever you're ready and whenever Dee's ready, we'll have a live performance of Game Over.
Awesome.
Honey, why do you feel like you're missing the mark? Are you careful what you see, honey? And are you aware of what is kept in the dark? Hey, honey, I feel your frustration, nothing's figuring out. You feel you're running out of time, honey, and everything that you say must be something profound. Ooh, welcome to Earth, where all the people raise a glass for the cameras. Ooh, nobody told you what to say when you asked for the truth. Oh no. And you feel that you've done it all wrong. Have you reached game over? Do you want to start over? So here you are at 23, honey, and what you believed is slowly falling apart. You're no longer so naive, honey, but you're disillusioned by the lack of applause. Just give me what I want. Well, be careful that you don't turn cynical of miracles. Ooh, welcome to Earth, where all the people raise a glass for the cameras. Ooh, nobody told you what to say when you ask for the truth. Oh no. And you feel that you've done it all wrong. Have you reached game over? I am going insane in a generation. My world is custom made to please me. To please me. Ooh, welcome to Earth, where all the people raise a glass for the cameras. Ooh, nobody told you what to say when you asked for the truth. Oh no, and you feel that you've done it all wrong. Have you reached game over? Do you want to start over?
Rebekah Fitch, game over. We have Paul McCabe has just put up a wow comment. So
Thanks, Paul.
we've had some very positive comments. People have enjoyed the gig. Please tell your friends. This will, as I understand it, will be archived, so you can return to it or point people towards it. And there are lots of other from last year sessions of getting to know. So it's becoming this lovely resource of talent from Northern Ireland and songwriters and composers and people from the avant-garde, people from the kind of the new tradition. So well worth looking at. Thank you very much to the OEM Music Centre for setting it up. And thank you to Dig With It magazine, of which I am part. And thank you for PRS for Music Foundation, who have helped to make the whole thing rock. And thank you very much to Dee. And Jennifer Kirby says thanks so much. How was it for you, Rebekah? Was it good?
I loved it. Thanks so much for having me on. Honestly, I love doing stuff like this and having letting people indulge me in talking about music. It's always a treat. So thank you.
Brilliant. Well, you look after yourself in that there, London, and we'll catch up with you down the road, hopefully.
Nice one. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.